Just crashed the night at the Surf Rider in Malibu. My friends Emma and Matt own it. Incredible place to stay. You have to come and visit. We got to surf First Point. Super fun. Got to ride some of the McTavish surfboards that they have on hand here for all the guests. We are now hitting the road, going up through Big Sur and on our way to the Napa Valley. So why don't you come and road trip with me? On the road, starving. I picked up some sourdough pizza dough and I was hoping we could have a fire tonight, but unfortunately there is a fire ban, so I've pivoted and I've got my cast iron frying pan on the fire. I'm going to get the lid in a second and heat that up, but I'm just going to do a real quick recipe. The idea is that we just want to reduce this right down and we're kind of trying to confit it almost, which means to cook it in oil. We don't want it to get brown. We just want all that lovely oil and flavour to go into our oil and into our vegetables that we're going to put on top of our pizza. I've got some rogue shallots that I'm also going to throw in there. So it's going to be like an onion, brie, capsicum, pizza. Don't know if it'll work. We'll soon find out. Alright, so this beautiful pizza dough here. Looks insane. So I picked this up from a bakery in Newport Beach called Brie Bakery, and I think this is such a clever idea. They just sell the excess dough that you can cook up. I'm going to pop that down, get that ready. I'm going to go get my frying pan lit in the back of the truck. Veggie mix, which as you can see is confit, probably a little overcooked, but we are racing the sun right now. Pop it into a bowl. Ideally, you want to give it a little wipe out with some paper towel. If I can, a little wipe. So I turned off my the bottom part of the cast iron frying pan. The top part's actually heating up right now, and the reason I'm doing that is I just don't want it to burn too quickly. I'm going to put my bread dough in, like so, and then I'm going to put in my topping, like so. It's totally fine if the oil goes around the outside because it's going to help to actually release it from the pan. Then I've got my brie cheese here, which looks delicious. You can use any type of cheese. This is all I had in the fridge, so we're going with that. So our bread has been on for about 10 minutes. And the moment of truth, ooh, it's actually looking pretty good. And the way you tell if your bread dough is cooked, these bubbles are a great sign. But also you just want it to like spring back. So it's slightly starting to bounce back. So I would say that it's nearly done. It's kind of like deep fried pizza really. But, hey, we're working with what we got here, baby. Fine. Key was probably the really good quality sourdough pizza dough. If you're actually looking for a recipe for dough to make your bread with, I do have an awesome one up on my blog as well, which is using ocean water. So if you're on the road and all you had was like flour and yeast, you could definitely make one. And you can do probably a hack would be you could make a bread dough and actually put it in your refrigerator or your cooler and have it sitting overnight, and the next day it's gone on through a 24-hour ferment, and you'll find you'll be able to use pizza dough straight away, like the dough with the bread straight away, making pizza or bread rolls or anything. Woo! It's hot. Surprisingly delicious. Capsicum, onion, chilli, bit of green onion, brie cheese on a sourdough base, all whipped out from what I had in my fridge. First. Good morning. We're in Big Sur. We camped last night in the forest, the redwood forest. We rocked up a bit late because we decided to surf Rincon. So we didn't get to see any of this beautiful view. So I made Dylan wake up early this morning and come down here, and it is gorgeous. I'm making us some coffee. Little hack, whenever I go to travel and I'm on the road, I will pre-grind all of my coffee beans for the trip, because it's a bit of a pain in the morning if you're cooking, like you're making coffee for a few people. So I pre-grind them. I'm making some coffee. We're going to do some breakfast. We're also heading into the Napa Valley tonight and going to Harlan Estate because I'm doing a site visit out there, because in April my friend Yeshua from Kauai Outdoors, who lives in Maui, is going to come out and we're going to do some events together. So we're going to check the space out. So why don't you come along for the journey? Growing up in Tasmania, we used to road trip and go surfing mostly, and the only things that we could really eat on the road were either bakery food or fish and chips. And behind me is the Big Sur Bakery, so I'm obviously nostalgic and a sucker for a good bakery. And from memory, this place is amazing. It's really quirky, which also reminds me of home, because Tasmania, like, I don't know what it is about it, but there's just people just doing really quirky stuff. So I'm going to show you a little bit around, because if you do come on this road trip, make sure you stop in. There's already a line up and the place doesn't open for another 10 minutes. So we're going to go join the line. I went with the cinnamon croissant roll. It's so good. 10 out of 10. Still a little warm. Yum. Should have got 2. We are in San Francisco, and it is real foggy.